This one.
Got him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come on, get him in here. Scooter's got one. Is he a good one? You need some help?
No, I don't think he's very big.
Huh? Well, you're the one that's got him. Has he got you?
He acted like he was big for a second, but...
We just switched from a topwater. Oh, you got him. Not a bad fish.
Nope.
First fish of the day. Look at this, folks. What's that, about 1.5 pounds?
Yeah.
There you go. First fish of the day. Folks, we're here at Canyon Lake, giving this a shot with my good friend Scooter Griffith, and I'll tell you from the Arizona Fishing Guides. And what would you call this, the dog days of summer?
Oh man, it's gonna be hot today. We got some cloud cover though. That's gonna help us out for sure. And hopefully that cloud cover will keep the topwater bite going over. At least some kind of reaction, but we haven't had yet. Eventually,
hopefully we'll get some kind of topwater bite. We threw it a little bit, but we decided, I'll throw some drop shot too. You know, in the summer, drop shots, you almost have to have that on your deck, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I have it year round, but yeah, I mean, you know, those summer night tournaments and all that stuff, I mean, I think I've won more money on a drop shot in the last, you know, 3 months than I have in a long time. So yeah, definitely, man, it matters. Like, you gotta have to have drop shots.
Well, when you're out guiding people too, obviously, you know, it's easier for them to catch fish, and this is something they ought to learn anyways, right?
Oh yeah, everyone wants to learn how to drop shot, you know, and it helps because it shows you like really how to feel the bottom, counting rocks, right?
You bet.
Count the rocks on the bottom. That's always a big thing. I tell everyone that, you know.
That's awesome.
And line control, making sure that you see your line, so you use some kind of colored line, that kind of stuff helps out a lot.
You bet. Yeah, and you know, we get a lot of questions. I get a lot of emails asking about what kind of rod line setup do I use, because I used to use nothing but fluorocarbon, 6-pound fluorocarbon line. Now I've gone to a braid, and I'll use a braid with a fluorocarbon leader on it. That way, when you're fishing that deep water, that 20, 30 foot of water, whatever, it's real sensitive, man, and it's awesome, isn't it?
Oh, you can
still
feel that
breathe
sensitivity.
on it.
Yeah, that's a good part.
And it keeps you from getting a ton of line twists. So, I mean, that's the one thing I do like about the braid. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just go down the bank here at Canyon today, see if we can't catch a few fish. He's got the first one on the board today, and maybe we'll catch one of them giants, buddy.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Show us your little, Scooter's taking us for a little guide trip today, folks. We'll have us a little fun. Of course, he hogged the first fish, but that's okay. We're gonna get going here in a bit. What'd you catch that fish off? What color worm did you catch that off of?
That's an Arizona custom baits. It's like an Aaron's Magic type. It has green and brown in it. I forget the exact color of it, but it's a deal that they're all hand-poured baits that they're making. They're really good baits. I really like them so far.
Well, we're gonna give it a shot. This will be my first time today, so
see what happens.
We'll play with them and see if we can't catch some fish, huh?
Look at that guy, 40 feet of water.
Well, we're only in 45 foot of water.
That's not that bad.
I've caught them in 60, 65 foot of water. It's how I won one of my tournaments.
Yeah. It's crazy. We just caught that fish in, you know, 5 feet of water.
And here we are.
And we drifted out. And now we see another fish and we drop right down to 40 feet. That's the summer, you know, they could be anywhere.
It's right there, Scoot.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one.
Oh my goodness, that's what I'm talking about, son. All right. Easy does it, baby. 6-pound line on that leader. Folks, he didn't want to come up. I don't know if I got him or he got me.
That's a good one. Come here, come here, come here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, son.
Yeah, that's about ready to fall out.
Look at that. It is about ready to fall out. Look at that. Doink. That's why you always keep pressure on them. Look at that.
Look at this, how red his lips are. Eating crawdads in there.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah. They get a little orange mouth in them. Yeah, you can tell.
It's a good fish.
Yeah, it is. Hey, I'll tell you what. When you have the dog days of summer, you can't get a topwater bite, just pull out that drop shot. You know, we're fishing kind of bluffy, cliffy areas, obviously. We're at Canyon Lake, so that's pretty much what you got. We're not, It's not like we're fishing a big flat or something, but I'll tell you, the cool thing about this is if you're used to throwing at something, throwing at the bank all the time, you hit some of these bluffs, at least you feel more comfortable instead of being out in the middle of nowhere and just throwing, you know? So you have a target to throw at, and then you just bring it back real slow, and that's the ticket right there, because it's deep enough. It's 20 foot of water, 30 foot of water right there. You know?
Just a 45 degree, a little bit more.
Yeah, and so yeah, that was on that 6-pound, that worm that you gave me. Where's that?
Oh yeah.
I need another one.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I usually keep it in your pocket.
Hey, guess what? I got the big fish. That's what I'm talking about. Well, Scooter, in the dog days of summer, you do a lot of guiding. And so you obviously have to fish these kind of days where it's really tough.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain to the folks at home what kind of baits are good during the summer that you like to try to use, you know, maybe from start to end. We know the drop shot, you know, I mean, that's a standby steady for me, you know, I mean, and you too, but there's other baits, you know.
I think I usually start out with, you know, in the mornings, I'll start out with some kind of reaction. It's amazing how many fish are up in that 5 foot of water in the mornings, and then they could be 30, 40 feet deep, you know, in the afternoon. So a lot of times I like to throw some type of a reaction bait, whether it be a jerk bait, a top water, maybe a buzz bait, maybe something that's, you know, real high up in the column, that sort of thing. And then I start fishing the walls, you know, and when I say fishing the walls, you can do a ton of different things. You could throw a drop shot, you could throw a shaky head, you could throw just a little Texas rig crawl, anything like that. I think something with that bait falling down next to them, when they get full from eating shad, they push up against the walls and they just kind of suspend, and you're getting them to react at that point, and not necessarily feeding them like you were when they were busting and eating shad and stuff. So,
and we've been going by walls that, you know, have a 60-foot drop on them. And I know a lot of people just go buy those and try to find something in 20, 30 foot of water. But actually, when you're fishing rocks like this, ledges like this, and 60 foot of water, you're just basically throwing that bait out right against the ledge, right? And letting it fall straight down. And there's holes, just like what you see here in the rocks here. You've got, as the worm's coming down, you got holes like that bass can be in, and they'll just come right out and grab the bait. And a lot of times, you know, your line just stops.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, I didn't hit 60 foot of water, you know?
Yeah. It goes down 20 foot and stops. Yeah, that's usually a good sign.
But I mean, there's other baits, you know, I like to throw buzz baits and things like that. But we were talking earlier too about, you know, sometimes even in the afternoon, you can pick up a topwater in the summer. Yeah. You know, like if they're pushing water. And these lakes,
Salt River chain of lakes, yeah.
The Salt River chain of lakes, it's almost like an on and off switch with these lakes when they start moving water, right?
Yeah, it could turn out to be really good. You know, we filmed the show one time where we caught like a 4-pounder 10:30 in after or 10:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Like our last spot, pull up, and Darren could barely even get up in the seat to start filming, and they started busting behind us, and we caught that big one. So.
Yeah, so it's definitely, you got different baits you can try. Even if you're not catching them on drop shot, you can still try some reaction. A little wind, I think, helps.
Yeah.
Good one? Huh? Little guy? Oh, yeah, there you go, there you go. Nice. Finally, we get bit. Add a little cloud cover and looky there, baby. How big is he?
He's not bad, but I think I got him on.
I'm gonna have to go to a darker colored worm.
Pretty light drag there.
Come on, get him.
Get him? Or am I flipping?
Oh.
Did he splash you? I was trying to get him to splash you.
Giant 3-pound Canyon Lake bass. Little drop shot bass right there.
Look how fat that fish is. He's short and just
They're healthy.
It's a good looking fish though.
It is a good looking fish.
This lake is definitely healthy.
The good news is it's a fish.
Yeah, it's been taking a little bit of time.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, you know, that's the thing about summertime fishing, folks, is you just, you know, a lot of people night fish. It really is, you know, all these lakes like Canyon, Saguaro, they hold a lot of night tournaments this time of year. You really don't do a whole lot of day fishing. And for that reason, they really feed at night. To be real honest with you, it's a full moon, and we're out here trying to see if we can catch a few fish for you, but and we're not catching the size that this lake is capable of doing, but we're still able to get bit. And I think that's the thing about it is, you know, the pH is going to be a little bit lower right now with the cloud cover that we have. It's, you know, if we're going to catch anything, now's probably the time to do it. That cloud cover is helping us a bunch. I mean, we're probably around, what, 9 o'clock in the morning right now. And
the good thing is that, I mean, any given cast in this lake could be that 7, 8, 10 pounder.
You bet. You bet. Now we got to catch us a giant.
Get out of the way so I can catch one.
Why, what's the matter?
You're sitting on my worms. Why are you trying to hide me?
Oh.
You're trying to keep me from fishing so you can catch one.
Here's the deal. I still got big fish.
This is true.
Oh, there's one.
That might be a good one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, he's pulling.
Ooh, I saw a flash.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I changed that worm up to that darker color, you know? You got dark skies, just change up to more of an oxblood. Look at that, that's a good one, son. That's like my last one. Oh yeah, Oh yeah. You get them out in this open water and they want to fight, you don't have to wail on them. You know, you just kind of let them play it out a little bit. There you go, son.
Nice.
That's actually, that might be bigger than the last one I caught,
Yeah.
huh? All right, look at that, folks, little drop shot bass.
That's a solid
Canyon
fish
Lake
right there.
bass. Look at that. That fish is solid.
That's a good one.
Look at the beautiful colors in that fish. They're eating crawdads. His face is a little orange there. Beautiful colors in that fish though. You know, that's one thing to remember when you're all out there fishing, you catch a giant fish. This ain't a big giant fish, but it's a beautiful fish. But a fish like this, as long as you hold it straight up and down with a mouth like this, but once you crank your hand and you twist the fish's head, you can break jaws doing that on some of those heavy fish.
Yeah.
So it's really important to always get two hands under them if they're really big, or at least hold them straight up and down like that and don't bend their mouth. But that's a beautiful fish. We'll let him go. All right, yeah, what I did was I switched up too, Scooter. I went to a curltail worm, more of an oxblood curltail worm. It's got that little, that same little red flake and that same little, as that Arizona bait.
Yeah.
And that purple line in it. Yeah, like that.
It's just almost the same thing. You
It's
just have
almost the same
curly tail,
thing, except for I'm throwing a curly tail. You know, I was throwing that lighter color, and with it raining on us a little bit, and the sky's getting a little bit darker, you know, remember that if you go to those darker baits sometimes, especially worms, when it's dark out, I think it helps.
Yeah, it gives you that bigger profile of them, and you know, translucent. The clearer colors, the lighter colors are bright bluebird skies, clear water, Havasu mead, that type of stuff.
Oh man.
And then once it starts to change, you know, and like this lake's been changing back and forth. Like the 3 days ago when I was here, it was a little bit dirtier, but lots of monsoons, you know, and that's the other thing too. You know, we've changed just in the day to day. I mean, we've went from being up on the bank and just backing off a little bit, caught them that way a little bit better.
Bet.
So you have to learn, talk about learning, you have to learn as the day goes on even sometimes. You know, you just got to, you can't fish what you want to fish. You have to fish the way the fish want you to fish.
You bet,
know?
you bet. Let them tell you what you're going to throw at them, and a lot of times you might have to change some stuff up. And you know, that's something else I was going to talk about with the drop shot is, you know, I'm throwing somewhat of a decent long leader. Some guys like short leaders, you know, and that's something that I think fishermen will always argue over what size leader they should throw.
Yeah, look at mine.
Yeah, and I mean, it changes, it varies. The main thing is making it look natural. And if you noticed, I've tied my hook directly to the line. I've met a lot of folks that ask me all the time, can I use a swivel? You can, but it doesn't look as natural. And there's guys that'll use swivels up the line to keep it from twisting because they don't want to use the braid. And I'll tell you, here's the reason why I don't do that, is because when you're letting this bait fall to the bottom and right where the hook's at and the weight drops and you want to drop your rod tip and let that worm just fall really slow down to the bottom, you got that big old swivel that falls right in front of the bait. It just don't look natural.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not much into, I want everything to look as natural as possible, so I'll tie direct and go that route with it. We're catching them. It's tough, but we're catching them, and we're on these bluffs. And hey, I'll tell you what, for a tip of the week, this is what's really nice. If you're not used to fishing deep water, and I'm talking 30, 40, 50 foot of water, you know, considered deep water, and you're used to fishing the banks all the time and you don't know what to do on the bluffs, a lot of people try to find, if you're good on your graph and you understand humps and all that stuff and you want to go out there and fish the open water, you can do things like that. Of course, on this lake, it's a canyon lake, so, you know, it's hard to do. But I always tell people when you're first learning how to throw deep, the easiest thing to do to fill the bites and stuff like that is just go to the bluffs and let it fall down there, and you'll be catching those 20, 30, 40 foot deep fish. You know, bring them up slow, and some of these fish they'll hit right on the fall. Sometimes it falls right to the bottom in 30 foot of water on these bluffs, and you'll catch them. And you know, but that's how I learned how to fish deep, because I was getting offshore when I was younger, especially when our graphs weren't as good as they are today. It was tough for me. It was tough for me to have any confidence. I like to have something to throw at, the bank, you know? And so that's how I learned how to fish deep water, and I felt more comfortable with it that way. That way, when I started learning how to get out on, you know, out in the deeper water on humps and stuff, I felt a lot more comfortable getting bites down there.
Yeah. There's one.
All right, he's got it. He's got it.
That's a deep one.
Is it a good one?
Nope.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. What do you mean nope? What do you mean nope?
That goes
That's
to show
a good
you right
fish,
there,
man.
huh?
What do you mean nope? I'm coming. Come on, hold on. Oh, I lost him. Oh, I'm sorry. You.
Look at that.
You.
Look how much bigger that is than yours. I mean, look at how pretty that fish is.
Goodness. Oh,
That's a nice fish right there.
that's gorgeous, man.
That one.
Look at that. Look how dark that fish is.
You like that?
Was it just dropping?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Good one.
Oh, well, good
Pulled some
job.
drag on that one. That one got a little deeper though.
Huh?
That one got a little deeper.
Did it?
Yeah. You know, that's a good thing is that you can always figure out where they're at on the walls. You still have to catch one or two to figure it out, but you know, they could either be up real shallow or they could be real deep. And you can cover all that water just with a handful of casts.
Man.
So you still got to be able to catch one.
Well, I was retying my line, so I just made my first cast out there. It hadn't even fall, you know, and he catches the fish. So, you know, I've been sitting down for 20. I've been sitting down for 20 minutes tying on my new leader. So
I caught the big fish. That's what you meant.
was that the big fish?
That's the big fish so far.
You turkey. There you go. Nice one.
Nope.
Little guy?
We said that last time, huh?
Oh, that's not bad. Come on, Scooter, get him in here.
Nice one. Get the numbers up a little bit.
Yeah, get the numbers up a little bit. Look at him. We were tied, weren't we?
Were.
Look how fat that fish is.
Look at this little snub nose.
Yep, little snub nose right there.
Nice fish.
Nice fish. Good job. Hey, you know what? We've had a great time on the show. I have. I've had a good time on the show.
Yeah.
It's been tough, but we've basically come out here. We've tried to show you what we would do basically on a tough day, hot summer day. We've had a little bit of cloud cover. That's kind of been nice.
Yeah, that helps.
But we thought the topwater bite would be there. But always check it because you never know, right?
Yeah,
It could be there. It might not be there. But you always have a drop shot you can go to and to catch these fish during the heat of the day. I prefer fishing at night this time of year, but I'm looking forward to getting back up in the White Mountains where it's a whole 75 degrees. You know, you guys can have this heat, but I had a great time, Scooter. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. The Arizona Fishing Guides. If you're looking for a guide trip, you want to know how to get some of this done.
Yeah, go to the ArizonaFishingGuides.com. You can go to my website. You can go call us at 480-772-8460. Look us up on Facebook, social media. We have all kinds of stuff out there for it. So it's a good times, man. It's a great day.
Well, you had a great day. I was in the lead with a big fish, and I was in the lead for the numbers of fish until the last couple. So it looks like you got me on all of them today.
My last two fish.
I'll get you next time. I'm coming for you.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us on the show. We'll see you next week. I'm Johnny Johnson. How many times have I told you not to catch the shad in the lake? Huh? That's not even fair.
Ah.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.